Thank you. I'm very honored to be here in this company of really distinguished guests. I just can't tell you how many or how much I appreciate each one of them and how I had a great chance to learn from each one of them. So I'm the student of all of your guests, and now they can evaluate me. So I'm already trembling and thinking how I'm going to perform. But I have one essential question that I will pose to a whole panel, and I'm speaking now as a Muslim from the West. And so this dichotomy that we have presented here, Islam and the West, for me creates a kind of real difficult situation because I'm in the West. I feel that I'm part of the West, and I feel very much at home here in the United States of America. However, I also have a small problem with distinguished guest, our Dr. Aktay. I don't necessarily think that Ottoman legacy is just his. Ottoman legacy is mine as much as it's his, because I come from the Balkans, and as he know, the Balkans gave to Ottoman Empire, particularly toward the end of it, like a third of the elites were coming from the Balkans, and maybe even Mr. Aktay have some Balkan roots himself. So, Islamic history and Islamic civilization is shared by all of us. And this is the problem kind of embedded into our discussion today. Also, we have to, how would you say, we have to clarify what is the level of discussion or level of analysis, as we will say in academia. Dr. Esposito was touching upon it, and he was addressing various issues from that approach. And I very much appreciate that, because we have to understand Muslims are all over the world, over 1 billion of people, and we have different issues in different places. But if I'm to summarize the problem here, I'm going to essentially touch upon the discussion that Brother Anas had. And to me, the real problem between the West and Muslims in general, or Islamic civilization in general, coming from my focus on studies of nationalism and studies of religion, which one is a form of universalism, while another one is the form of particularism. And another one, as being the form of particularism, produced the world system that we have. So the main issue that we have, that I see, is how to find a proper balance between individual well-being, individual pursuit of happiness and fulfillment, and the group well-being and group, how you say, happiness and fulfillment. And this is what Brother Anna spoke about, I think, when he asked the question, what are the values that we want to defend? And I'm not the only one talking about the problem that we have to find a proper balance between individual and group rights, or individual well-being and happiness, and group well-being and happiness. Western world now is encountering that problem big time, how to balance essentially things between the group rights and group well-beings, including Muslim groups in the West, and how to essentially continue emphasizing the individual rights and individual selfish pursuit of happiness. And so same way Muslims have that problem as well. We have to reevaluate the value of individual, whether that individual is woman, and notably today there's no woman in the panel, which kind of is a problem. I will post that as a criticism, right? Or it is any other Muslim, good or bad, or it is even a non-Muslim. How do we, bring back the value of individual that Islam teaches us, that individual, it's all about essentially, individual and individual salvation. So that balance is essentially at stake. And so that's why, perhaps maybe also because, like Anna said, I'm in the West, and I see that from the Western side, and I see that essentially we are approaching the same problem, but from different directions. And another issue which kind of stems throughout all these discussions, starting with distinguished Mr. Ibrahim and our great leader Aktay, is the issue of Muslims are no longer in a position to accept humiliation. We are a new generation of people. As he said, this is boring. I don't want to even discuss anymore this issue of, democracy, incompatibility with West and all that stuff. I am a Western as much as anyone else. And to me, I see absolutely no problem with my lifestyle and my fulfillment here. So I want to be treated with respect. I insist on being treated with respect, and I will provide the respect to anyone else. We do know that Western, political hegemonic powers are not used to that. They're not used to talking to a Turkish leader and saying and looking eye to eye to him. They are maybe used to different kind of realities, but things have changed. Zero sum. We do, as Muslims, theologically don't believe in zero sum, and we are accepting, a possibility to, create a lot of common ground where we can share this world in a mutually beneficial way. So we do not necessarily think and agree that somebody has to be above and the other one has to be under. We think that we can be equal in every sense of the word, truly equal at the opportunity, not necessarily equal at the outcome, but truly equal at the opportunity. And, we have to find a solution together. Why? Because we are facing serious problems coming our way as a world globally. One of them is I'm super worried about climate change. And I think if we don't find a ways to talk to each other in a mutually respectable way, I think we're all going to be in a serious problem. So my question for all of the panelists is, I would love you to, if you can, elaborate on this kind of problem of balance between individual fulfillment and group fulfillment. We Muslims emphasize group fulfillment so far, but maybe how can we revisit this issue and understand, or reevaluate the value of individual within Muslim world. And, there is nobody who asked a question about this Western world. So, I can only propose the question for us. Thank you.